Hello guys! Today I will tell you a very beautiful and meaningful story. If you subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications before starting the story, you will have the chance to listen to more wonderful stories. Without further ado, let's get into our story.
Blue and red and mystery, a sports adventurer. Blue and red.
Once upon a time, there lived a cute rabbit named Blue. Mavi lived with a group of colorful friends who lived deep in the forest and went on different adventures every day. One fine day, Mavi and his friends went for a walk in the forest. His friends' curiosity was aroused, and they all decided to find this mysterious stone. They struggled with the difficulties they encountered on the way, but they never gave up. Finally, they found the mysterious stone. However, getting the stone was not that easy. They encountered many traps and puzzles. However, they overcame all difficulties thanks to their friendship and work together. When they took the stone and returned to the forest, they realized that the stone had magical powers. The stone could be used to preserve the nature of the forest. The friends decided not to abuse this power and preserve the beauty of the forest. Blue and her friends protected their forest using the power of the magical stone. The forest became more beautiful, and all the creatures in it became happier. One day, they found a bird lost deep in the forest. The bird did not know how to return home. Blue and his friends decided to help the bird. Together they drew a map, marked the roads, and delivered the bird safely to its home. After returning the bird safely home, Mavi and his friends organized a celebration to welcome new friends to the forest. Different creatures from different parts of the forest played games together, sang songs, and met each other. This celebration was the largest and most colorful event where the forest came together. However, during the celebration, they noticed something was wrong in the forest. Some trees had faded leaves, and some rivers looked polluted. The nature of the forest seemed to be in danger. After Mavi and his friends cleared the forest, the nature of the forest became more beautiful. Trees started to turn green and rivers started to become clear. However, there was another problem in the forest. Some animals had difficulty finding food because the balance of the forest was disrupted. Mavi and his friends decided to restore the balance of the forest. They helped build nests for birds, collected food for rabbits, and supported all the inhabitants of the forest. In this way, everyone started to live happier and healthier. However, they also wanted to solve problems in other parts of the forest. They went on a journey deep into the forest, and this time they reached a mysterious water source. The water source was the life source of the forest and had to be cleaned. Blue and his friends started cleaning the water source. Clean water helped revitalize the forest and made every creature feel better. The balance of the forest was restored. After Mavi and his friends cleared the forest and restored the balance of nature, the forest became more vibrant and colorful. But this time, a mysterious incident started on the other side of the forest. At night, strange lights appeared deep in the forest. What could be the source of these lights? Mavi and his friends decided to solve this mystery. One lonely night, they traveled deep into the forest and found the source of the lights. These were magical fireflies. But these insects could not shine because their resources were exhausted. Blue and her friends decided to help the fireflies. They helped fireflies shine by creating a new habitat for them and allowing them to feed on special plants. After all, the forest glowed magically at night. However, during this adventure, another problem of the forest emerged. There were creatures lost in the depths of the forest. Mavi and his friends took on the task of finding creatures lost in the complex structure of the forest. A journey full of maps, tips, and adventures has begun. While Mavi and his friends were solving mysteries deep in the forest, they found an old map. The map showed the way to the oldest and deepest part of the forest. However, it took courage and wisdom to go to this area. Friends examined the map and decided to go to this mysterious region. Challenging puzzles and unusual creatures appeared on their way. They progressed by solving each puzzle and establishing friendly relations with each creature. Finally, they came to the place the map showed and found a magical lake there. The surface of the lake was filled with magnificent paintings reflecting past forest adventures and experiences. They realized that this lake was magical and could record the past. Mavi and his friends touched the surface of the lake and saw their past adventures again. These experiences further strengthened their friendship and reinforced their commitment to protecting nature. However, the story didn't end there. The lake also offered clues about the future. Friends received messages that in the future they will grow their forests even more and find new ways to protect nature. Inspired by the magical lake, Mavi and her friends decided to further develop their forest by giving each area of the forest a special name. They prepared a plan to better protect and manage these areas. They made new friends throughout the forest and worked together to form a larger, stronger community. However, dangers outside the forest were also increasing. Malicious people near the forest were trying to destroy the forest. Mavi and his friends decide to contact people to protect their forests. They gave a call. They started various projects to explain the importance of nature to people and raise their awareness to protect their forests. As a result of these efforts, a strong cooperation between humans and forest creatures began. People began to take better care of their forests and protect nature. The creatures living deep in the forest also taught people the mysteries of nature. Working together, they made their forests and the world they live in a more beautiful place. They embarked on new adventures every day, made new friends, and their determination to protect nature never wavered. Mavi and his friends continued their efforts to protect their forests and cooperate with people. They taught children the importance of nature by establishing a nature conservation school in their forest. In this school, children discovered nature, got to know plants, absorbed the forest's ecosystems more balanced. However, the biggest adventure had just begun. One day, deep in the forest, they discovered an old lost city. This old city was abandoned long ago and was reclaimed by nature. Mavi and his friends decided to solve the mysteries in this old city. There were interesting puzzles, old stories, and lost treasures in the city. By solving these puzzles, Mavi and his friends learned the history of the city and why it was abandoned. This knowledge helped them better understand their forest and all its inhabitants. During their time in the city, Mavi and his friends made new friends. These friends were different creatures from other parts of the forest. Working together, they further grew and diversified their forests. As Mavi and his friends continued to unravel the mysteries of the old city, they followed the traces of a bigger secret deep within the city. Ancient texts and clues gave information about a mysterious community that once lived in the city. This community was a people who lived in harmony with nature and used natural resources. Sustainable. Why? Using this information, Mavi and his friends began to understand the ancient community's lifestyle and respect for nature. They decided to use this information to learn how to manage their own lives and forests more sustainably. While they worked to make their forests more sustainable, they also continued to unravel the mystery in the city. Finally, they found a central temple in the old city. The temple marked a special place, used to protect nature and maintain its balance. The temple taught Blue and her friends that they must be chosen as guardians of the forest. They accepted these new responsibilities and decided to take even more care of their forests. Their time at the temple helped them develop a deeper connection with nature. However, there were also difficulties they encountered during this adventure. Some people wanted to destroy the forests and were challenging the determination of Mavi and his friends as protectors of nature and its forests. Mavi and his friends were ready to fight against these threats. Mavi and his friends began their new duties as protectors of nature. They educated their communities and promoted sustainable practices to protect forests and their environments. They worked to increase their welfare. However, in the meantime, a new mysterious adventure began in the deepest and most inaccessible corner of the forest. They discovered an ancient temple. The temple was filled with ancient wisdom that taught ways to communicate with nature. Mavi and his friends began to learn this information and felt that they had a deeper connection with nature. During the time they spent in the temple, they gained miraculous powers by merging with the energy of the forest and nature. However, they also learned the responsibility of using these powers. With their new power, they grew their forests larger and worked more effectively to protect their environment. At the same time, they began to help other forests and communities. They enabled greater cooperation between humans and creatures and continued to improve the balance of nature. However, his enemies were still pursuing dangerous plans in the forest. Mavi and his friends, as protectors of the forest, embarked on a last great fight against these threats. In the end, their determination to protect nature and forests thwarted the plans of miscreants. Mavi and his friends began to move towards a bigger goal during the years they spent as protectors of nature. They wanted to preserve forests not only for their own communities, but also for other forests around the world. Therefore, they decided to communicate and collaborate with conservation groups in other forests. They started a long journey and made new friends from different communities. Each forest had its own challenges and beauties, and Mavi and her friends were eager to learn about each one. They shared their knowledge about protecting and sustainably managing forests and returned with new ideas. However, during these trips, they also learned about environmental problems around the world. They became more aware that forests and nature are important not only to their communities, but to the whole world. They learned more about climate change, loss of wildlife, and other environmental problems and decided to fight against these problems. Mavi and his friends have undertaken major projects in cooperation with other nature conservation groups. They worked to grow their forests, protect their water resources, and save rare species. These projects have helped take a big step towards protecting nature and making the world a more sustainable place. However, there was still much work to be done. Mavi and his friends continued to fight against environmental problems and remained determined to leave a better world to future generations. Each new adventure was full of new knowledge and new friendships. Mavi and his friends gained more experience by participating in nature conservation projects around the world. They met people from different cultures and communities and realized that nature is equally important everywhere. These experiences have made them more conscious and globally minded nature guardians. One day, while visiting a remote forest, they discovered a very rare and endangered species. They took immediate action to protect this species. Mavi and his friends started a project to restore the habitat of this species and collaborated with other conservation groups around the world to try to save this rare species. While working on this project, they began to appreciate more the miraculous beauty and diversity of nature. Each forest and ecosystem had its own unique characteristics and each was valuable. They understood more deeply that all living things and natural habitats in the world should be protected. Mavi and his friends further expanded their efforts in nature conservation. They took a big step towards realizing their dreams when they established an international nature conservation organization to raise awareness of more people and communities to protect natural habitats around the world.
Thank you guys for listening to me. If you subscribe to the channel and like it, you can be informed of many different wonderful stories.